Good morning, ladies. This is Beverly with Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching. How are you doing? Grab your cup because we're going to have a little conversation today about menopause. So, if we haven't met before, my name is Beverly. I'm a certified health and wellness coach, and I work with women in the area of menopause to help them elegantly transform their body and their lifestyle in my holistic programs. So grab your coffee. I meet once a week and just sit down and chat about different topics related to women's health, specifically on health and wellness issues during the time of menopause. So menopause, if you don't know, is when you don't have your cycle for like 1 year. But then there's this phase before this called perimenopause, and that's where a lot of women see some of the challenges. So let me get a sip and talk about a couple of ways that you can manage the situation. One of the things that I feel that is talked about a lot is just hot flashes. Like, that's all it is about menopause is hot flashes, and this is absolutely not true. Um, there would probably be more women on average who have hot flashes, but the degree of what hot flashes are can be just very mild and almost not noticeable to some women really have extreme levels of hot flashes. But what you don't know is their diet can contribute to these really challenging bouts of the hot flashes. I went through that phase, and honestly, I actually found it very humorous because when I finally realized that that's what it was so brief and so short. And I reflect back, I'm like, was that really menopause, hot flashes? So I thought I'm going to take this as a project and time it like I'm having contractions and see how long it goes. And I never really got a chance to document it because it came and went so quickly. I mean, I don't remember whether it was like seconds. I can't imagine it being minutes. And if it was something that I felt was so uncomfortable and unbearable, I would have excused myself. And I've never done that. I've never done that. And I worked in some really stressful environment with a lot of men, and they can bring on any hot flash just because they get like so intense about everything, and it's just like you just stressing because you got something to do on your plate. But anyway, getting back to menopause, it's like there are a variety of symptoms that women will have come up for them, and each woman is different. You can talk to a dozen different women, and I did market research, and I talked to a plethora of women about their experience with menopause. And I have to say, out of the majority of women I talked to, they had mild hot flashes, and many of them said they didn't have hot flashes at all. So that just kind of throws this myth out the window. So one of the things that I want to do is just have these conversations and just talk about menopause, because I think that that's the real issue. There's so much misinformation. That seems to be the key word now, misinformation about menopause. And I just want to kind of set the record straight. I'm not saying that menopause is one of those things you go through that's a breeze. And for some women, it may have been. But for me, it hasn't been this situation that is standing up to the narrative that I'm coming across. And I've recently joined Clubhouse, and I'm going into a lot of rooms where they're discussing menopause, and the conversation is the same. The women that I'm in the conversation with around menopause, and who are actually coaching women who are menopause, like, the situations is not dire. It really is not. And it's just like something that has got women in this state of fear and fret, and you shouldn't, because it's just a natural cycle of life. And it can be managed. You can do it on a holistic front, naturally, which is what I teach. And then there's also the medication where you can do HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy. But that's not something that I get into because I'm not a big proponent of using medicine to mask a situation. Just get to the symptoms and let's address the symptoms. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about was detoxing. And in the comments here, I indicated that detoxification is the number one thing that you have to prioritize during menopause. So I'm going to have another sip of coffee because that's a lot to take in. So the way we nourish our bodies is super important during menopause. So things that you were used to eating before, that has to go away. Or you will see the weight gain come on. You will see the waistline expand. You will have these symptoms that seem to be difficult to handle. But make it a priority to be healthy during the stage of life. So I offer a 5-day detox. I've been doing this for over a year now, and it's been a very popular program. The women that have gone through it have had so much success. I have their some of the testimonies. There's been so many. I didn't even put them all in there, but some of the ones that bubble up to the top, I added them to my website, which is beverlyhillscoaching.com, and you can see their outcome in just 5 days of taking out the bad stuff, adding in the good stuff, and just working in a group environment with the other ladies. You find that every day your body changes. By the time you complete the 5-day detox, you are going to be absolutely amazed. And I actually go through it right along with the ladies. And the way the 5-day detox is set up is that I provide you a menu of items for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the entire week. There's a shopping list. There's a how-to guide. There's, like, if you have to eat out, some tips and strategies for managing that. So there's a lot of information that's included within that 5-day detox program. So I would encourage you, if you've been seeing it and say, you know, next time I'll do it next time, and it hasn't worked out, this is your last opportunity to do it as a standalone 5-day detox. So the detox will actually kick off on March 28th and go through April the 1st. So it's like 5 days, and it's very economically priced. So check it out. There will be more information in the comments. And also, if you come to my webinar, which is going to be March 13th, this is the day that the time changes, and it will be at 1 p.m. And I'll have like an hour conversation about what detoxing about, what you expect during detoxing, and I'll also provide you with a discount code so you can take advantage of an added bonus for being there. I would totally encourage you to check it out, especially if you're a woman in menopause or perimenopause and you're finding that you have these symptoms that are starting to show up and you don't know what to do. Please seek out a natural route first, and if that doesn't work to your advantage, then I would say go seek the medical, prescription. I mean, do have the conversation on both ends, but if you do the medication first, you probably will find yourself unable to come off of that medication and won't have the opportunity to go with the holistic route. So try that one initially if you do your research, and then walk through that one. And if you're finding that it doesn't serve you, then I would say move on to the other end. But by and large, in my market research, the average woman opts for holistic ways to go through menopause and have actually used natural remedies to go through menopause. I totally went through it that way, and I'm here to tell you, like, it was not that big of a deal for me. It really wasn't. To me, I could dang so many other things that were much more stressful than that was. But I think part of it also is a mindset and an approach that you bring to the table. So another thing that I would encourage you to do is, I always talk about self-care. That is like one of the main priorities about this time of your life. You've probably been working with so many other people and putting them first, and then you're last. So, taking care of your spouse, taking care of the kids, taking care of your social obligations, going to work, it goes on and on and on and on. But take time to take care of yourself. And if you haven't done so, I'm going to share one of the things that I'm doing for myself. I have a plethora of things that I do for myself, but I received a package in the mail, and I'll share this with you because I'm so excited. This is one of those things to me to keep me on track during this stage of my life, because if you don't have a goal or an objective, you will find yourself, days turn into weeks, turn into months and years, and then you look back and it's just like, the sands in the hourglass is like going down. So make the most of your life. So I am going to be attending Tony Robbins Breakthrough event. And I have been a fan of Tony Robbins, and I guess if you're in my age range, you probably have too, since he started out when he was 19 years old. So because of the pandemic, I have taken the initiative to get my ticket, and I'm going to attend virtually. Not that this is something to, encourage you to do so, but find your thing that will inspire you and get you excited about your life at this stage. So I'm going to close out now. Thank you so much for joining me for coffee, and we'll see you next time. Be sure to check out the link and all the information about my upcoming webinar and the 5-day detox. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.